So I actually tried this board about 4 or 5 months ago in Vegas at Eastgate Con. One thing I knew about this board is it's doing a lot of things that a lot of companies have been lacking in focus for a long time. So a lot of boards are focused on power and speed. Now there's a really good battery in this board, so I'll talk a bit more about it later in the video. But as a board for a lifestyle of cruising, skating, commuting, this might be the one you might want to go for. So I'm back in the States, as you can see now. Sunny weather's looking good, so there's gonna be a lot of content coming out. So there's gonna be a variety of different boards coming out, things we haven't seen on our channel before. So if you haven't subscribed already, you might want to subscribe now, because the next few weeks, it's gonna be a lot of content being packed out. Now, one of the first features about this board that you see is its all new 3K carbon deck and enclosure combo. Now, we've seen some carbon decks on the channel before, but what's special about this deck is that it's actually made in-house by Propel. Propel have actually purchased their own carbon fiber process, so it means that they can really have a keen eye on the quality and control of the decks and parts that they are producing. So,
oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
now, another thing about this deck, it's not actually super massive, and with the deck design on it, it rounds off. It doesn't actually hug your feet vertically. It goes the other way. So instead of being concave, it's a convex, rounded corner of the deck. So your toes actually go over without them being lifted, which is something I've not seen e-boards do. It's actually nice having a board that's not really aggressively flicking your feet and your toes up and grabbing onto them. It's actually nice to have something a bit more rounded, a bit more surfy, and being by the beach is much more appropriate. Now, the actual length of this deck is actually 32 inches in length, and there's nice rounded corners in the shoulder of the board. Now, inside that deck and enclosure is a huge, actually significant 13S 2P battery. In a size this thin is super impressive. Now, the watt hour is 465 watt hours, and this is giving you an estimated range around 31 miles in range. Now, from my testing, I'm normally getting around the 23 to 25 mile range, but I am a heavier rider and I do not ride in an economical mode. Now, from that battery size and the kind of style this board is for, that kind of commuter style, I think that's a very appropriate battery. It's kind of an interesting take having a 13S, not a 12 or 14, but a 13S battery on a board this size. Gives that enough power, range and speed. Now, the charger that is paired with this board will charge this board from dead in about 3 hours. However, they do offer a fast charger that will charge this board in 1.7 hours from dead. Now, I'm glad that the charger that you get paired with is enough to get this board from dead to 100 in around 3 hours, because that's the appropriate time. Now, the board is paired with 88mm street wheels. Now, but what's good about the Propel system is that because this is a belt drive system, it's quite easy to chop and change the wheels to whatever preference you like. So if that wheel size is a bit too, oh look, these ducks. Now, what's nice about the wheels that are paired with this board, because they're 88mm and using the ABEC core, it's quite easy to chop and change to your own personal favorite wheel type. So if you've got a wheel type like a cloud wheel, or if you want to even change the pulley to a Kegel design, it can give you the options to really customize this board for your own personal preferences. For example, around here is quite nice because it's quite smooth in most areas. It's quite easy to get around town, but if you're going in more of a rough area, you might want to upgrade your wheels to maybe like a cloud wheel or a slightly larger wheel to give you that kind of softer, smoother ride that you're looking for. Now, these trucks are 11.2 inches wide, which is a nice healthy balance between a compact short board and a board that can get up to about 31 miles an hour. Now, from my testing, I normally get around the 26 mile an hour top speed range, but with those trucks, that's as fast as I particularly would want to go. I've hit about 26 miles an hour on this thing. Yes, there's more to go, but for me, with this truck system, that's exactly where I want to be. So as I say in every one of my videos, each board sits in a particular area where it excels in. No one board is good for everything. Now, where this board sits is for a premium commuter college campus style rider. If you're looking for a very high-end, powerful, nimble, smart board with a couple of little extra tricks, which we'll talk about momentarily, then this is the one for you. Those CNC trucks, premium remote, and a compact design, and at a competitive price, I think this board is in for a winner. One thing I really like is the small details of this board. If you see here, they've added these nice little end of axle covers as well with the Propel logo. Little details like that shows that a company cares. So let's talk about another thing about this board, which is actually nothing to do with the board. It is to do with this new remote from Propel. Now this remote is really, really ergonomic for the hand, compact, and has a giant OLED screen. So at a glance, you know exactly how much power and the throttle curve on it as well. Now with this remote, you can change a hell of a lot of things, i.e. the power, the torque, the braking. You can also look at the specs of your board as well with detail, which is really nice for diagnostics and maintenance. Having a remote that you can simply look up the screen and the dash, user-friendly, I want to add as well. It's really good for the consumer. It's really good for the company to diagnose any problems with any cells, any motor issues, X, Y, and Z, to make you get yourself back on your feet as fast as possible. And I've got to say that this puck is so small and compact you can't even see it. One thing I really like about this remote, and it's actually nothing to do with the remote itself, again, loving this leather strap from Propel, and that nice little Propel logo on it as well. This adds a little bit of class to the board, and I think it's really nice. Now the motors that are paired with this board are in a belt drive system, which are 225 watts each and have a kV rating of 170. Now those small compact motors are just about the power you need to get yourself up to a good cruising speed. I don't like going really fast on this board. It's not designed for me as a really super rapid board. It has the power you need for commuting, keeping up with traffic and overtaking. But they are not gigantic where you're going to come flinging off in a dangerous manner. What's nice about them as well is that they're actually inverted. So the motors sit under the board as opposed to being on the outside. Now the benefit of that, particularly on a short board, is you can use the kicktail on the deck to manual hop off curbs and give that clearance to jump over and interact with your city in a different way. Having a kicktail for just like changing direction, manualing, turning around, you can't really explain how good that is for a board. But having a kicktail and the motor's inverted is a good combination to unlock a different dynamic of riding. Now one thing in my reviews that's really gathered a lot of attention for myself specifically is a weight of a board, because the higher weight of a board, the more of a pain it is to live with, carrying it up and down stairs, taking it into work, sticking it underneath your desk. All these little factors come together, so weight is always a bit of a crippling factor of e-boards. Yes, they're always going to be heavy with the motors and the electronics and the batteries and all that, but if you can save weight and make it compact, just have what you need every time, that's really important. Now what's the weight of this board? Now this board weighs just over 8.5 kilograms in weight. Okay. Now this remote has loads of really, really nice features, but first of all, the main feature is look at the ergonomics of this remote. Let me just turn it off 1 second. Just going to launch it into space. It fits underneath your hand so nicely, so you can have this super stealth. You wouldn't even know that it's in my left hand. Right, that's how compact it is. One thing I do like is the subtleness with the nice metal Propel logo and that leather strap, super clean. One thing that's nice as well is this thumb wheel design. Look how narrow it is and wide, and that serrated edge is really good. Doesn't matter where you reach on this remote, you're always going to find it, which is a really nice feature. But there's one thing super special I haven't spoken about yet until now. Look at this. One thing that's always annoyed me about e-boards, and made it really confusing, is got this giant battery in the enclosure here, but we can't access it besides eSkate until now. So there's actually a external USB Type-C point here, and to turn it on, so now that's on. I'll take the other end. Now we are charging.
And just when you thought Sigma had nothing else to offer, there's this. The Propel Sigma incorporates its full RGB ambient lighting throughout the entire deck of the board with included tail light. Now this feature is fully customizable between all the speed modes, so you've got preference of colour to be applied when accelerating or braking. You can do that all through the remote.
So that is a full review of the Propel Sigma, but how much does this board cost? Now this board has actually got a $300 discount on it currently, and it is $8.99. But with my affiliate code, it does bring it down a little bit more and does support the channel. Now for $8.99, is it a good deal in my opinion? For you, it's up to you to decide. For me, there's some really nice, simple, clean features for this board. One thing I really like about this board especially is that it's an all-in-one unit with that ambient lighting, external USB Type-C fast charging, which you can charge your laptop off. All you need for a campus cruiser is this and the charger for this board. You can charge a remote, your phone, and any other device directly from this board, and I thought that's an absolute game changer in this industry now. Its small, compact, powerful design unlocks a whole new way of interacting with your city. Anyway, that's a review of the Propel Sigma. If you like it, drop a like below. And if you want to know more about Propel, I'll put a link to the Propel Ruckus, an AT monster for a lot more power and a lot more dynamics. So check it out, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.